So I waitressed for probably 6 years through the end of my high school career and the beginning of my college career. And I have waitresses in my family. I don't think that people working their way through school are the only wait staff. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's not the case. My sister has waitressed for over a decade and will probably continue to do so for a long time. And does struggle to pay her bills. However, she does not have much other options in terms of what she's doing, so that's what she's supposed to do. But I'd like to address, first of all, what happened with that woman who spoke earlier and was talking about how little she makes, and was brought to everyone's attention that she should talk to her employer because he is breaking the law. I just want to point out, for people that haven't worked in the restaurant industry, as the last gentleman mentioned, there is no contract, and so that goes both ways. So the employee can choose to leave, and the employer can choose to let that person go. And what tends to happen in that situation is that there's a real power dynamic at play. And I know that even in my experience, a lot of times, tip workers are hesitant to speak up and make complaints to their management in terms of what's happening, because it was always very aware to me as a waitstaff that I was easily replaceable. And I don't know the numbers, but I would guess that for like most other jobs that are hiring right now, there's probably way more applicants than there are jobs. So I don't think that it's really fair to judge some of these workers who are scared that they might lose their jobs and don't speak up on this. For a lot of people, low income is better than no income. And so I think that's something that we need to remember. In terms of the utility costs that were mentioned and how that is causing restaurant owners to struggle, I don't think it's fair that we then put that burden on the workers. So I agree. I can't stand how my utility costs as an individual, as a homeowner, continue to go up. However, National Grid continues to get the increases that they're asking for. So maybe some of the restaurant owners that are here can do some work around that issue and try to lower those costs of utilities. But I don't think that's fair to say I can't pay my workers more because of the utility costs. And I just want to add in that harassment, sexual harassment runs rampant in the restaurant industry, and that has to do a lot with the power dynamic that I already mentioned. So as a waitress, I definitely would get harassed by certain patrons, and it's hard to really address that when you know that a lot of your income and the income that's going to put you over the top, a lot of that is coming from your patrons. So it's hard to address when they are treating you wrong because you run risk of losing that income. You are also tend to be harassed by the back of the line staff because you don't really have much that you can do about it. How quickly the food comes out and the quality of that food absolutely affects what the wait staff's tip is. And so a lot of times, again, in that situation, in particular women, you deal with what's coming at you because you need a good relationship with that wait staff, the line staff, in order to keep your food coming, in order to have a little better service for your patrons. In addition, even your managers. You can complain to your managers about things. They control your shifts. They control what sections you get sat at. So to say that there is no retaliation that can happen when somebody speaks up about some inequities or things that are happening at work,